Would you like Chris to know?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
We did receive something from a forwarding agent. Steve sent to me that they do have a program that ups it every year 18%.
So for the first time,
It gradually gets up to that.
Do you think the
It's still gonna be a right.
no? Whatever. I'm making a point when you
City Councilman Mike Turk.
I do have the mics on, so we just.
Gotcha.
So somebody else will bring up
Maybe Pat.
okay. Oh, I'll have to start it. Oh, so you just took a meeting for 4 hours, down to 20 minutes?
I didn't say.
Yes, you did.
Thanks.
You said it.
I'll be on it.
You'll be here tomorrow evening. Not tonight.
I like that other suggestion too.
Somebody's gonna start the meeting.
Who's the mayor pro tem? Somebody's gonna have to do it. She's gone. Assistant post meeting, right?
The cameras will be on, yes.
You making this up or what?
No, it does.
The person to the right is the person who's not here.
It's how everything's done.
Started?
Back to normal.
That's what they're telling us.
Cheers.
Welcome everyone, City of Joliet Pre-Council Meeting. Agenda for Monday, March 18th, overseen by our Mayor, Robert Odekirk.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilman Dickinson.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
In my chair.
Councilman Morris. Absent. Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman is absent. She did call to notify me she would not be here this evening. Councilman Turk.
Here.
First on the agenda is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll pass it over to the city manager to discuss tomorrow night's agenda items.
Okay, there are two proclamations for JCA. The Economic Development, Finance, and Public Service Committees will provide their reports. There are 3 items on the consent agenda: approval of minutes, invoices paid, and position vacancies. And there are 3 liquor licensing matters on the agenda, so I'll invite the Deputy Liquor Commissioner to the podium.
Mayor, City Council. Council Member 129-19. A public hearing was held on 2/6/19 at 9:30 a.m. for a request for a new Class C liquor license. The applicant is RIKC Liquors, Inc., Ona Panda Kieran, DBA RIKC Liquors, located at 1110 Hobolt Road. There were no citizens to be heard. No outstanding monies owed to the city. Police and fire have no issues with the license. The building department will need re-inspection after remodeling is completed. Based on the facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commission is recommending approval of the license. Second is Council Member 130-19. A public hearing was held on 2/6/19 at 9:15 a.m. for a request for a new Class E license. The applicant is Joliet Lodging Associates LLC, DBA Town Place Suites by Marriott Joliet, located at 1515 Riverboat Center Drive. There were no citizens to be heard. No outstanding monies owed to the city. Police, fire, and the building departments have no issues with the license. Based on the facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commissioner is recommending approval of the license. Last is 131-19. A public hearing was held on 2/6/19 at 9 a.m. for a request for a new Class CD license. The applicant is El Ranchito Supermarket, LLC, DBA El Ranchito, located at 561 East Cass Street. There are no citizens to be heard. There are no outstanding monies owed to the city. The police, fire, and building departments have no issues with the license. Based on the facts of the hearing, the Liquor Commissioner is recommending approval.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, under public hearings, there's one public hearing with a request that it be tabled to April 16. Under ordinances, Council Memo 136-19, ordinance approving a variation of use to allow continuation of a 4-unit, an R4 multifamily residential use, and an R3 1 and 2 family residential zoning district located at 426-432 Elwood Street. There is a laundry list of conditions to secure the variation, and no one spoke in opposition at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Next, Council Memo 137-19, ordinance authorizing the ceding of Joliet's 2019 volume cap to the Assist Mortgage Credit Certification Program. It's my understanding that we've done this before, not last year, but previous years. It doesn't cost the city any funds to do this. Next is Council Memo 138-19, ordinance declaring certain properties as public nuisances, 906 Menlo Court, 202 Edward Street, garage only, and 114 Emery Street. Under resolutions, Council Memo 140-19, resolution authorizing the release of executive session minutes. There's a laundry list of the dates of the release listed in the ordinance. Council Memo 141-19, resolution approving the 2019 Joliet PSAP 911 surcharge reallocation grant out of the $300,000, $100,000 to fire, $100,000 to police, and $100,000 for our PSAP, our Public Safety Access Answering Point, which is our 911 center. Next is Council Memo 142-19, resolution accepting the award of the Urban Forestry and Community Grant-funded Parkway tree replacement. This is accepting the $15,000 grant for the purchase and planting of trees. Jim, who was the one that applied for this? I meant to ask you.
I believe that was Jim Tiber.
Okay.
Our arborist, Jim Tiber, typically applies for these grants. Yeah, it's 15,000, as we discussed in public service, and replace the emerald ash.
Didn't miss anything.
Okay, next, Council Memo 143-19, resolution authorizing certain employees of the City of Joliet to sign checks, vouchers, and warrants on behalf of the City of Joliet. Designated financial institutions to be used as depositories for city funds. The resolution lists a number of employees who can sign checks and wire transfers. And as we all know, you need 2 signatures, and this does add Fifth Third Bank to the list of all the other banks as possible city depositories. Council Memo 144-19, resolution adopting a programmatic agreement with the State of Illinois Department of Natural Resources for Section 106 reviews. Jane Bernhardt will act as our State Historical Preservation Officer to expedite the requirements under the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966, which requires consideration of the impact of projects on historic
Quick question, Mayor.
Yep.
Since you brought that up, Marty,
Yes.
for a second I thought about that garage that's on there as a nuisance to be demolished.
Yes.
It's limestone, so I know it just may be old. Is there any historic, no historic connection to it?
Not that I know of. I mean, before we do, all this does is it declares a nuisance, which starts the process. So in order for us to ultimately demolish, we'd have to go through that process, if there was any.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next are two resolutions together. They're Council Memo 145-19 and 146-19. They're two resolutions. These are actually items that the City Council passed in 2016, but the Will County requested additional information for implementation, and that detail is contained in the resolution. Otherwise, nothing else has changed from 2016. Council Memo 147-19, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the Department of the Army and the City of Joliet for the Joliet Levee Flood Risk Assessment. This is another of the ongoing efforts by the city to mitigate the issue with the new floodplain map. It's a cost share with the city and the Department of the Army. Again, our collective goal is to remove downtown from the floodplain map. So it's a number of different avenues that we're pursuing with that. Under bids and contracts, these were reviewed by a Public Service Committee who will report on any issues tomorrow. And as a reminder, I am not going to be here tomorrow.
Marty, if I can add, at the beginning of the meeting tomorrow, I'm gonna give a brief review of the State of City address that I've given. It won't be the 45-minute speech, but there's a lot of items that were included that haven't been reported in the local media, so I want to make sure that the council and that the public get to see what's happening, an accurate picture of where Joliet's at in 2019.
Okay. I'm sure I'll watch it
Yeah.
or live stream it,
Well, you were there. You saw it the first time.
and that's all I have.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Come.
As y'all can see, it's my first time. My name is Andre Dixon. I live at 10 Richard Street in Joliet. Retired state correction sergeant. Anyway, I'm here before you today because I purchased one of those homes on Richard Street. And it ended up to be a lemon. And I submitted a pamphlet to everyone. But I just here before the mayor and the council. I want to thank y'all for this opportunity. Like I said, this is my first time, so I'm a little bit nervous. But I had issue with this house, and I'm trying to get some relief from it. So,
Right. We do have the packet. Do you want to comment beyond what you wrote?
no, because everyone pretty much seen the package. My councilman, he been by the house many times. I just want relief. The house, most of you have been by there to see it. The city offered to buy the home, and it had to go before the council. I just trying to resolve this issue so I could move on.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Just one question, sir. Why do you think, I mean, briefly, why do you think that the city's responsible to purchase your home?
You know, that's a good question.
Because you really didn't get to the crux of that question.
Okay, that's
You
a
didn't answer
very
that
good question. And what happened is, in 2017, they dug up the property. And that was under the direction of Dave Mackley. And what happened was, once they dug it up, the debris from the old factory building that used to be there. It was still there on the property. And that's the reason why the garage keeps separating from the house. This is the second time. And when they first documented in 2016, it was only 2 inches, the separation. Now it's down 4 inches. So that debris before they built the house should have been removed. And it was left there, and that's what's causing the garage to separate from the house and the driveway. So,
Questions? Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Mayor, City Council, good evening. Interesting fact. 3 years ago yesterday,
Could you give your name and address for the record?
John Q. Public.
Address?
I don't have to give an address, sir, and due to the intimidation factor, I really don't want to give my name or address.
Okay.
I fear for that. So let the record show that. Interesting fact. 3 years ago yesterday, the city of Joliet held a press conference over the Evergreen legal bills, nearly $660K in unauthorized legal payments. The report was 25 pages long. More importantly, is the vigorous and zealous manner in which this case was pursued by the city. Asked about what criminal charges could be made, Regis stated, quote, "That's hard to answer, but what we can see is a clear breach of fiduciary duty," unquote. Regis said, quote, "Plyman should have informed the council of the increase in hourly rates," unquote. Odekert said the city is considering seeking a criminal investigation in a civil lawsuit over the legal bills. Odekert said the city may ask the U.S. Attorney's Office or Illinois Attorney General to investigate the matter. He said Regis has been in contact with the U.S. Attorney's Office. On the Thursday news conference, Odekert said Evergreen Terrace report proved the value of hiring Regis. Odekert said, quote, "We have to hold people accountable," unquote. Another Herald News article stated Joliet police were directed to investigate. Police Chief Brian Benton said his department has asked by the city inspector general to investigate whether any crimes were committed by city employees or law firm. As of this date, I'm not sure how the case ended. Now on to the $64,000 question those taxpayers are talking about. An article that appeared in the Joliet Patch on January 24th, 2019, stated Officer X is now appealing the city's decision to fire him. Quote, Joliet Patch was the first news outlet to report that X's removal from the police force surrounds allegations of falsified paperwork concerning overtime pay. If the allegations of inflated overtime pay are true, X may have several $1,000s more than what he deserves at the expense of the city taxpayers. He has not been charged with any criminal activity in connection with the dismissal from the city of Joliet, unquote. The big question is why? Why criminal charges have not been brought against this employee? And no attempt has been reported to recover the fraudulent funds that were allegedly paid out. If the allegations are proven to be true, this would be a felony. In the Evergreen case, Regis called billable hours, quote, theft and fraudulent acquisition of funds, unquote. Overtime is also billable hours worked. Mayor Odekert said, quote, we have to hold people accountable, unquote. And by the way, I agree. It's time to apply the rules and penalties even-handedly without discrimination to all cases that come before the Inspector General, not just a selected few. That, sir, is your fiduciary responsibility. In addition, if that is not being done, then the City Council has the same fiduciary responsibility to find out why not. Thank you.
Thank you. For the record, that was John Sheridan at 1122 North Center Street.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Dickinson? Aye. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye?
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried.